Hi, my name's Katie Kelly. I'm the Depute Chief Executive at East Ayrshire Council. East Ayrshire Council is a beautiful area in the southwest of Scotland, and it is not one of the coastal Ayrshires, it's landlocked, but it's got incredible countryside and scenery and an amazing heritage. We're really proud of our heritage. It's Burns country, but also we're proud of it because we've got a really deep history in coal mining, manufacturing, lace making. And the thing that's most incredible about East Ayrshire is its people. Within East Ayrshire, we've got a mixture of urban and rural communities, and we coined the phrase here, rurban, which describes how East Ayrshire is made up. The biggest town is Kilmarnock in the north of East Ayrshire, with a population of about 44,000. And then we have a range of smaller towns and villages right across East Ayrshire, and they make up a total population of about 120,000. What the most amazing thing about the work that I do, I think, is that I have this opportunity, this incredible opportunity to work alongside our communities and to serve them. And the big message from me to my workforce and to the communities is, if we didn't have them to serve, we wouldn't have a job. So our job is actually to work alongside people to help them achieve their hopes and dreams. And we've done some really different work in East Ayrshire over the years. About 8 or 9 years ago, we started to think very differently. We were getting more and more distant from our communities, and it was more transactional, the relationship we were having with them. And in a lot of ways, I think they thought a lot of what we were doing as a fait accompli, and they were passive recipients in a range of the services that we had. We had increased demand for a whole range of reasons to do with budget pressures, and really we weren't using the most amazing resource, which is the people we serve. So we took a complete direction of travel, complete change around about 2013, and we introduced Vibrant Communities, which came out of a whole range of deep listening with the people we serve, our stakeholders, elected members, businesses and partners, and also looked at research from right across the world. We were very interested in asset-based community development, the work of Cormac Russell, and also at the time Sir Harry Burns, who was the Chief Medical Officer in Scotland, who talked a lot about power and power sharing and self-determination and people having power over their own lives. So we brought a lot of that work together, and we brought a whole range of staff together who'd never worked together before to change the way that we serve communities. And really we've had an incredible journey, and over those years we've built up incredible trust, and that work of community power is really manifesting itself in East Ayrshire now. So to illustrate this, during the COVID pandemic, we've had an incredible response, resilient response from our communities, because over these years they have seen us as equal partners and people that stand side by side. And the way that's shown itself is we have a range now of 21 community-led action plans. So nearly every one of our communities, big and small, has its own plan. They made the plan themselves. It's the same process, but we just enable and support the process. And they do a full review. They go out round every door and ask people to talk about what they love and hate about their community and what their hopes and dreams and priorities are for the future. And then they hold a voting event, and people from all over the community come to vote, and usually there's a donkey and people singing, and we get massive turnouts for these 400, 500, 600 people. And then thereafter the community pull all of those things together and launch their own action plan. And as I say, we have 21 of these in place. And I suppose community power really comes into play at these launch events, where the community are on the stage presenting, telling us what it is they want to do, and the council officials, elected members, myself and Director of Finance and others are in the audience quietly listening to what they have to tell us. And this isn't about them telling us everything that's wrong and asking us to fix it, because that is not about power, that's about dependency, and that's what we need to move away from. These plans are about what communities can do for themselves, where they need our help to be enabled, whether it's resources or people or connections, and actually what we should be doing for them to help them to move forward. So this has been absolutely game-changing, having these plans. And what's come out of it is a whole range of things. Definitely an improved relationship, many more community events than we've ever seen, a whole range of community enterprises, and probably one of the biggest areas that we've seen is community asset transfer. You know, at the same time as setting up vibrant communities, we'd been really keen to rationalise our estates, and there was a separate work stream called Property and Estate Rationalisation. I'm sure many of you have heard that one. And at the time I said, why don't we just bring that into the context of community power? And why don't we work alongside our communities to see if we can work with them to help them to run facilities for themselves, not just hand the keys and run away, but provide brilliant support. And that's what we did. And we now have 55 successful asset transfers. We've had none handed back. And that's everything from a football pavilion to a full golf course to community centres, sports centres, and most recently the biggest one in Britain, where community asset transferred one of our big old high school buildings, and that's been run by a local social enterprise and a theatre company. So we've saved, a couple of £1 million doing that recurring revenue, but we invested about £1.5 million in those facilities to work alongside communities to take them on, and we continue to touch base with them. And some communities have a management arrangement with us, some have a lease with us, anything from 2 years to 90 years, and some communities have been ready for outright disposal where they've taken those on. But for me, community power is deeply listening and understanding what the people we serve, what are their hopes and dreams, what makes their hearts sing, what about their love of place, and how as public servants we can work alongside them to realise those hopes and dreams and really help people to love the place. We get one shot at this, and for me, our job is to help people to have a really, really good life. So it's been an incredible journey here, and that level of trust that we have now in East Ayrshire has meant that our response to COVID, it's been a joint call to action. We've worked shoulder to shoulder in communities to allow us to be able to serve our most vulnerable people, and that continues to happen. It's been an outstanding response, and I'm so proud at the way that East Ayrshire works. So it's permeating right across everything that we do, across all of our frontline services, using this empowered approach with our workforce, 74% of whom live in East Ayrshire anyway, so they are our communities, but also letting our people know that they need to find a way to say yes as long as it's legal. We're there to serve. And also using a whole range of approaches around coaching so that we're using strength-based work. So as Cormac Russell say, we focus on what's strong and not what's wrong. It's been fantastic for me to link with New Local, because I feel already as if I've met like-minded councils who are thinking differently and thinking more innovatively. If you imagine councils right across Britain just now as a set of rose bushes, we need to be very careful what branches we take away. Some of them will never grow back if we make immediate cuts that will do damage. So what we have to be in the business is of pruning, and we have to be in the business of working alongside the people we serve and really investing in the things that are more important to them. And what we found actually by working in this trusting, equally empowered way is that demand is reducing. People, as natural support's appearing, and people are doing things for themselves and celebrating that fact. Back to reducing health inequalities, and what we'd heard from Dr. Sir Harry Burns was, if people have power over their own destiny, they live longer, healthier and happier. And one of the biggest things we can do there is make connections between people. And making connections costs nothing, but it's one of the most powerful things we can do around people's well-being. So I'd like to thank you very much for having the opportunity to share this blog with you. And I really look forward to getting to know more of the councils and New Local and the organisations who are joining. I've really enjoyed taking part in the No Going Back sessions, and already sharing some of the research that I've had from colleagues in New Local been outstanding. And I think at a time like this, the innovative councils, the innovative organisations, we need to stand together. Those of us with the philosophy of power and sharing power and actually making sure that we do the very best for the people we serve and that we are absolutely equal to them, we should actually amplify each other's work and make that the new normal. So thanks for this opportunity.